それでは、スコット・コーカー氏の質疑応答を始めさせていただきたいと思います。ご質問のある方いらっしゃいましたら、挙手にてお願いいたします。はい。では。
Good to see you, Mr. Coker. I want to ask you, do you have what kind of opinion about Sturgeon today?
About which one? The
Sturgeon.
stadium, the arena?
No. Archuleta's opponent, Sturgeon.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yes.
Yeah.
Listen, I thought the fights today were very competitive, and I think that Archuleta's opponent was very strong, and I think he might have even hurt Archuleta in that fight a couple of times, but that fight was very close, and it just shows you how much, the Ryzen fighters, to me, have grown in the last 5-6 years. I see a big growth spurt. And keep in mind, when you talk about the Bellator athletes, and I'm not just saying this because, it's a company I run, but over the last 6-7 years, this is the best roster we've ever had in the history of the company. And if you look at every weight class, 205, we have the best 205 pounder in the world. Compete with anybody. The best 185 pound, Johnny Evelyn. I'm telling you, this guy just beat Gegard Mousasi. He's another guy. But if you go all the way down the weight classes, not just have fighters that could beat the UFC, we have fighters that can compete at 3 or 4 different, like fighters at each weight class that can compete against any company in the planet. So we have a very strong fighter base right now. So I think he did a good job. I think Juan said he was very tough. Juan was happy to take the win and go home.
質問としましては、今日の対抗戦に関してどういうような感想をお持ちでしょうかということでした。回答としましては、本当にどれも接戦で、特に、アーチェリッタ選手の相手は本当に強かったと思います。で、なんとか本当にそれも、アーチェリッタ選手が接戦で勝てたんでよかったと思います。で、これはやはり、この5、6年で、ライジンの選手がどれだけやっぱり全体的に成長してきているかというようなことを証明していることだと思います。で、また、ベラトーの選手もこの5、6年でも、本当にどのウェイトクラスでも最高レベルに達しているというふうに思います。で、こういった選手たち、我々の選手たちは、UFC だけでなく、世界中のどの団体に行っても戦える選手であるというふうに思っています。で、そういった、選手層が厚くなってきている結果がこういうふうに出たというふうに思っています。
では、続いてお願いします。
すみません。今回の5戦全勝という結果は、予想されてた通りでしょうか、それとも予想以上の結果だったでしょうか。
Were you expecting this 5-0 win, or was it better than you thought?
I always said, my wish is to go 5-0, and I'm happy that my guys won. But to me, it was very competitive out there. That last fight, Mr. Souza, when he was fighting AJ, there was a couple of times I thought maybe he might get tapped. So it was very stressful to watch that last fight. It was very back and forth. I thought AJ did what he had to do to win, but anything can happen in a fight, as you know, in MMA. So it was an entertaining night of fights.
常に5-0で勝てればいいというふうに思ってますけども、当然何が起こるかわかりませんし、最後の試合でも、何度か、サトシ選手が、AJ を、タップからタップ取るんじゃないかというふうに、感じがして、ドキドキして、非常にストレスフルな展開でした。ただ、やるべきことをやって勝ったと思いますので、その結果かなというふうに思います。
スコットさんから見て、今日のベラトル勢の MVP は誰ですか？
Who is your MVP on your side?Who is the MVP on your side?
Oh, I think I might have to give it to AJ McKee. I thought he was in some dangerous situations. He got out of them. He did what he had to do to win, and I think that he had a great performance. And again, I think that when you look at Souza, the gentleman he fought, I mean, that guy is a dangerous fighter, as you guys know, and I think he'd be something. Well, he'd definitely get ranked in the top 10 in the world from this performance. So. This was something that was very, 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 stressful to watch because I thought a couple of times he might have been in big trouble.
エイジ・マッキーじゃないかなというふうに思います。さっきも言ったように何度か危ないシーンあったんですけども、うまく脱出したりしましたし、相手のやはりサトシ選手っていうのは非常に危険な選手だというふうに思います。で、世界でもトップ10に入るような選手ではないかというふうに思っています。で、そういった試合を見るのは本当にストレスフルだったんですけども、AJ としてはよくやってくれたというふうに思います。
はい。続いてご質問ある方。
Hi, Scott. First of all, congratulations, 5-0, and I think you are very happy. Besides the stressful, but I saw a picture from Khabib in social media with you. Did you have any comments about him say to you about the show, about the Japan, for anything you can share with us about the experience? Yes.
Yeah, it's very interesting because he wasn't here in the heyday. You know, I got to see those fights. You know, a lot of you know that it's been in the martial arts business a long time. You know, I started working for K1 in 1999, so I got to see all the great fights of K1, or a lot of the great fights of K1. I got to see the great fights of Pride, and Khabib has never seen the production and the fans, and he was freaking out. He was telling me, "This is unbelievable." He kept telling me, "This is unbelievable." I had no idea that you know something like this was happening, you know, in Japan. And I said, you know, this is where it started. I mean, this is where, you know, MMA and martial arts combat, it started here, and it grew throughout the rest of the world. But there was a time where Japan had the best fighters in the world, the best production in the world, the best promotion in the world, and you know, that's why the UFC bought it, right? So just like my company, Strikeforce, I think we had a great roster, great events, and they wanted our fighters, so they bought it. And so, you know, it's so ironic to sit here with Khabib, who's like freaking out about the production and the staging and all just the pageantry. But he was really impressed, and it was just so weird because, you know, he, like I said, he wasn't here when it was even bigger than it is today. So I'm happy he was here. I think he was, you know, extremely excited, and I think he'll be talking about Japanese MMA and Ryzen in this show for a long time.
質問としましては、ハビブ選手と何か今回の大会において話したことありますかということでした。で、回答としましては、ハビブ選手が日本の格闘技のやはり全盛時代にここにいなかった、見たことがなかったということで、まあ逆に私は1999年から K1 で働き始めたり、プライドも見ていますし、ここでの格闘技っていうものはどういったものかっていうのを当時の時代を知っています。で、ハビブ選手は正直今日の大会を見て感じて、信じられないと。こんだけ盛り上がっているのかというふうな形で驚いていました。そして私は彼に対して、すべて MMA というものはここで全て始まったんだというふうに伝えて、当然、そういった当時盛り上がっていたからこそ UFC がプライドを最終的には買収しましたし、私のストライクフォースも買収したりしていました。で、やはりそういった格闘技の盛り上がりが日本にあったということには驚いて、実際に今回来て肌で感じて、感心していました。そういった本当に驚きというのは隠せないようでした。
And besides the main card, do you have any fighter from the previous card? If you take this person is very good, his performance is very good because we have a lot of finish today.
Yeah, it was a rather long card, and I didn't catch a lot of the undercard fights. But my fight team was watching it back in California, watching the live stream, and so you know they will have some notes for me next week on what they think. And yeah, I just want to, and I told this to Sakakibara too. I said, you know, if he has some fighters that he feels wants to come and fight in America or anywhere else in the world, they'll be welcome to come and fight. And if he wants to have a super fight with one of my fighters, doesn't have to be our champions. I mean, our roster is open to Ryzen to share as well.
今大会に関して、全体的な印象ってどうでしょうかと。当然、アンダーカードも多くて非常に長い一日だったんで、私も全部試合は見れていませんけども、カリフォルニアにいる私の部下たちにちゃんと見るように、で、あと、彼らも、ストリームでのライブ配信見ているかと思いますが、そういった意味で、 榊原 CEO が、まあ、私のところにある選手を送り込みたいという希望があれば、当然我々としてはオープンですし、逆に、スーパーファイト的なことを日本で行いたいというんであれば、我々もそういった要望にはオープンですので、そういった交流は、まあ、やっていきたいというふうに思っています。
For the last one for me, Saigo. For you as a promoter, what did you see for the future in this relationship with Rising and Bellator?
You know, I will meet with Sakakibara in probably the next couple of weeks, and we'll have a conversation. I think that you know, this is a lot of work to promote a show like this, and it was, you know, you could tell how great it was produced. I think he should be extremely proud of everything he's done here. But you know, the relationship is good. It goes back 20 years. I plan to continue to work with Sakakibara, and I think we'll figure something out that'll be very unique and fun for the fans.
まあ、プロモーターとしてご自身、このようなライジンとベラトールの関係というのはどのように思いますでしょうかという質問でした。でもちろん、今大会の反省もこの数週間やっていきますし、また今後に関しては榊原氏ともいろいろと話していきたいというふうに思っています。で、当然彼との付き合いはもう20年前にも遡るので、今後また新たな展開としてどういったものがあるかというのはもう随時話し合っていきたいというふうに思っています。
ラストワンクエスチョンでお願いします。
ゴングマガジンです。2つ質問があります。JMOC にアメリカから、まあ、ジャッジも入り、今回のジャッジがフェアなものだ、心配だったジャッジはフェアなものだったと感じましたか
？This time there were judges from the U.S. also. Do you think it was the judges were pretty fair?
Yeah, I think the judging was fair. I think that you know, we brought 2 judges, but I think there was, you know, a rotation of 8 or 9 judges on the Japanese side, and we didn't have any complaints. I know that our guys are very seasoned, and we brought the best officials that we could. And I know that the Japanese officials have been doing this for a very long time, and they have a nice federation, so no complaints.
まあ、今回我々からは2人連れてきたんですけども、まあ、日本側も8人か9人でローテーションしていたと思うんですけども、まあ、そういった意味でも別に我々だろうが日本側のジャッジだろうがみんなベテランですし、そういった意味では特にジャッジに関して何かしら文句があったとかっていうようなことは全くありません。
一方でそのライジンルールだとストップドントムーブみたいなものもあった中で、今回もし次回もう一回対抗戦があるという話ですが、その時にルールがケージとユニファイドルールになった場合、もっと今の差が広がってしまうのではないかというふうな思いはありませんか
？So this time was Rising rules, but maybe next time if you have this kind of a fight in unified rules in a cage, do you think there will be much more difference between the Bellator and Rising fighters?
Yeah, I think that you know, as the Rising fighters get more experience in the different rules in the cage, it's going to take time, right? So they're used to fighting in a cage, and I mean in a ring, and our guys are used to fighting in a cage. So, you know, our fighters to come here and compete in a different apparatus, different rules, different environment, different time frame. I'm proud of them because it's not an easy thing to do. So one of the things about these guys committed, I mean, we had Christmas time, this is New Year's, but these guys have got here like 10 days ago. So a lot of them arrived even before Christmas time. And they said, we're going to give up our Christmas. We're going to come to Japan early. And they've been training here for the last 10 days. And they did it properly. And I told them, I said, look, you don't take these fighters lightly because they're very good. So I think they took that to heart, and they did what they had to do.
もちろん、ケージとか、リングといったような違いですとか、ルールの違いっていうのは、慣れるには時間が必要だと思いますので、ライジンの選手たちにもそういった意味では慣れる時間は必要かなというふうに思います。で、今回、我々の選手たちが、まあ、違うルール、また、時差ですとか、といったようなものを克服するために、まあ、クリスマスを返上して、10日前、2週間前から日本に乗り込んできて、で、私も、ライジンの選手たちを舐めちゃいかんよというふうに厳しく言ってたので、まあ、それをしっかりと実践してくれた結果かなというふうに思っています。
Mr. Scott, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much.